What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over the Vortex UHD line. We got Cody Nelson in the house, going to drop some knowledge bombs. We got the 8x42s all the way to the 18x56. We're going to break them down, go over some differences, why maybe you should choose one over the other, different situations. Cody has the answers for everything because he's on the phone all the time talking about optics. So that's why we got him in here today.
Well, you know, Nev Dog, we gotta take care of our people.
That's right.
That's what we do, right?
That's exactly right.
Hey, by the way, first time I think you and I are on camera together.
Yeah, I can feel the chemistry. It's great.
There's a good vibe there.
Good
Let's
vibes.
go with it. Let's keep it rolling today.
So for some people that maybe aren't familiar with the Razor UHD line, what can you tell us a little bit about that line from Vortex?
Yeah, I mean, you have the original Razor HDs, which was by its own right a really good piece of glass. Checked a lot of boxes for a lot of people. And just a couple years ago, the UHD line came along, and basically the biggest main change was the addition of the abyconic prism, and that just allows for better light transmission. And so, with this glass, you're getting precision etched glasses, you're getting better coatings, all of that, bells and whistles to go. But you're going to get better edge quality, better color, resolution, clarity, and then you get now you're getting a bino harness with each bino. You get lens covers, on the objective and the oculars. So they really just wanted to put a kind of a package together that kind of checked all the boxes, and really what it did is it pushed the ceiling up. And got the binoculars to start competing at a higher level, and they absolutely did that. When you broaden your palette a little bit with the 8s all the way to the 1856s, you cover a lot of bases. So for a guy that's sitting in tree stands, with an 8x42 with a super wide field of view, all the way to somebody that is going to sit on with a glassing setup or tripod and glass at ridiculous distances and fine game. That's really what they were trying to do, is kind of cover all the bases, and they did. When you sit out in the field with them, I'm not going to lie, they're a good piece of glass all the way around.
For sure, yeah.
And they deserve the name, Ultra HD.
Yeah, so these are the top of the line for Vortex, the UHD Razors. Yeah.
Yep.
And
it ranges in price. You're looking at $1649.99 all the way to $1999.99, and for what that is and the value that they're providing, it's excellent. Lifetime VIP warranty, and again, to say you're able to tripod mount all these. You take off this disc here, and there's a 1/4-20 mount. You can do that across the line. The value of just getting the bino harness, because to a lot of people that bino harness is that's an extra $125 or $50 to spend. There's then you go to the 1042s. Probably the 1042 and the 12x50 are the two most popular, for good reasons. You have the standby 1042s, with excellent light gathering ability. And a good power to weight ratio. Right. Like I said, the 8s were more for a tree stand guy with or a wide field of view, or somebody who's hunting in real dense cover out west. Right. Wooded, ponderosa, whatever. This will work for them.
Yeah, so I've used these 10x42s for the last couple years, and what I like about them is if you're going into a hunt, you're going to be like hand-holding a lot, like you're walking around, you're doing a lot of just checking with your hands. That 10x42, even like the Ace, are better with that kind of field of view, not going to seem so shaky to you.
Well, anything you can do to minimize, eye fatigue. Mm-hmm. So whether it's a tripod or, whether it's using less power glass to make sure that you can really focus and see because that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to help your eyes focus better and more efficiently, and reduce eye fatigue. So that's the 1042 coming out west is kind of a standby. Yeah. And then I'm gonna jump the 10x50s. I'm gonna jump over these real quick, but the 1250s were always kind of that next progression, because people wanted a little bit more power, bring things in a little closer, but still have a good field of view with still a good exit pupil, meaning light to your eye. And so there's always been kind of a balance between that. Gets a little tougher to handhold, but yet, you know, if you put those on a tripod, exponentially, you know, creates, it extends the distance that they're good at.
Yeah, and I also have the 12x50s and the 10x42s, and kind of how I use mine is elk hunting, where I know I'm not going to sit and glass a lot, like I'm covering a lot of country. I'm usually standing, glassing. I go with the 10x42s, whereas a mule deer hunt, I know I'm going to be on a tripod. I'm sitting, I'm behind the glass a lot, and I like to have that extra power to pick out mule deer. So like if I know I'm going to be on a tripod, I like the 12x50s. Whereas if I'm walking around, running around, I go with the 10x42s.
And it's kind of, you know, when we talk about the 1050s, you're kind of bridging that gap.
Right.
Because the exit pupil on these it's a 5mm exit pupil. So, I mean, your pupil is only so broad, you know, so wide, and it can only accept so much light, and that's pushing on those edges pretty quick. So a lot of people would say, well, why would I do those over this? And I would just simply say that the 1050, quite frankly, is better optically than the 1042, just not as, you know, as much power as these. But again, 1050 mounted on a tripod, you're going to be able to see things at the darkest hours, and at a very long ways. And I think 10 power a lot, and even 8 power to some degree, people don't realize just how effective they are, you know, when you put them on a tripod. Yeah. And I think if they'll do that and they'll let this glass do their talking for them, I think they'd be really surprised at how really good they are.
Right, and for somebody who might not know, like these are the 50, so that's the objective of this lens right here is going to be bigger than on the 42. It's basically what that is, just for someone who might not be familiar with.
And the easy calculation for that is divide the objective lens by the magnification. So in this case, it's a 50 divided by 10 equals 5. Right. On the 842, it's a 5.25. Right. So, you know, these are a 4.2. So the 1250s are, I think, are a 4.17. It gets a little more fraction, you know. But again, you got all the way, you got 56mm bell and all the way up to 18 power. You know, those are for your ultra long ranges. You know, when you're really studying country. I would tell you, like, maybe these are more kind of your elk, mule deer. This is for that guy that might be going down south to my country, you know, hunting a little coos deer, you know, hunting those big canyons and those long, super long looks. You know, it just kind of goes to show you Vortex is listening. Right. Vortex is putting a lot of gear out there to cover all your bases. And I think the UHDs would be something you'd be really happy with.
Yeah, these ones are super interesting. I haven't tried these 18x56s, but I know for like one use case that I would like to use these for, like scouting, where I know I need to look a long ways. Yep. I'm trying to cover as much country as possible, and a lot of times I'll have this out of my truck window. And I'm trying to look as far as I can. Yeah. I'm just scouting it from a distance with optics, and like a 18x56 is great.
I love to take a big glass like that, put it on a heavier tripod, and glass at really long distances, because anything you can do, again, to calm the vibration or anything down, is just going to let you see farther and more clearly.
Do you have some people asking you, like, should I use these over a spotting scope, these 18x56?
Almost every day.
Yeah.
So I would just tell you that there's when you have both eyes open, you have a tendency just to, that's the way you know your eyes operate, is they just see better when both eyes are open and functioning together. And a lot of people, man, they have a hard time looking through a spotting scope. They get really bad eye fatigue, you know, from squinting one eye, or and you just don't see as much detail with one eye. And it takes a lot of muscle memory and a lot of practice to and time to get really comfortable with that. You can use the patches, or, you know, you can hold one eye over it, but the fact of it is that you really just need to flat out kind of decide, am I a spotting scope guy or am I a binocular guy? I would tell you that without any doubt, the guy that puts his binoculars on a tripod, I think will find more game over time than he will just by using a spotting scope. Yes, you can look at some ridiculously long looks, but with both eyes open, wider field of view on a tripod, you can really find a lot of game really efficiently for every field of view you're looking through.
Yeah, and then you could, like, if you do have a spotting scope and you want to see, you know, maybe you're going after a certain size animal or you're looking for something specific, put on your spotting scope, and then you'll have the ability to zoom in.
Yeah.
But like to find stuff, man, you're going to be able to find a lot.
You know, I've always, you know, when we started this a long time ago, when you started using big glass like that, it's first of all, it's addictive. And second of all, kind of like cheating a little bit sometimes. It's like, holy cow, I can't believe we found those at that distance. But the way that I always think about it is hey man, I got to be there to look through them, and I can see them from a long way. And you know what? Again, I've said this many times before on podcasts and whatnot. Sometimes you're not just glassing for today, you're glassing for tomorrow.
Right, for sure.
You may see something that you couldn't even possibly get to today, but you know where they're at.
Yeah.
And you can get up there tomorrow.
100%.
So
yeah, let's do a quick, just like run through from the 8x42s all the way up on like use cases, what a hunter should look for, and like why they should pick.
Really simple, easy to handhold, super bright, wide field of view for that dense terrain, hardwoods back east, sitting tree stands, ground blinds, what have you, but can be used out west and really underrated on a tripod. So guys that have 8s, if you bought these for your back east hunts and wanted ultra glass back there, and you wanted to come out west and put those on a tripod, they're completely underestimated. Sure. You will find a lot of game by doing that. So 1042s is kind of that do everything, kind of, you know, jack of all trades, you know, master of none, but really it's the staple. I would use a 1042 for just about anything. I think it's as equally usable back east as it is, you know, out west. And again, mounted on a tripod, it's just underestimated. Some people always think, oh, I have to have a 10 and I'm going to mount a spotting scope on a tripod. I would literally say mount the 10 on your tripod first, use the spotting scope to validate, verify, and move on.
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
10x50 really truthfully is kind of the jack of all trades, does everything really, really well, ridiculously bright, really, really handy off of a tripod, and still can be used as a handheld glass. It's a little bit heavier, a little bulkier, which may calm things down a little bit. But you know, all in all, it's kind of the do everything piece of glass.
It's the brightness with these that it's gonna shine.
People don't realize just how bright it is until you do it.
Right.
And then you realize, like when you start putting them on resolution charts, it blows you away.
Oh, I bet. So
12x50s. 12x50s are fast becoming, you know, kind of the Western do everything piece of glass because you know that 2 extra magnification. You're gonna go down a little bit in your exit pupil, meaning light to your eye. But again, if you're hunting mule deer, you're hunting elk, antelope, kind of that mixed bag, you got a little bit of everything, and you're okay with, you're pretty steady, you know, yourself, and you can handhold the 12. The 12 really does a great job at doing everything.
Yeah, I'm sure Brady would highly recommend the 12.
Brady is a 12 guy.
He's the guy that likes to sit behind his glass for 8 hours a day.
100%. Again, so it just really good out west. Probably gets a little bit, you know, if you're a beanfield guy back east and you got, you know, terrain to cover, 12s might do it for you. But the truth is that they'll go just about anywhere.
Right.
So 1856s can be used in place of a spotter for a lot of things. But really it's meant for that sit down, mount on a tripod, glass for long periods of time, can find things at ridiculous distances, and again, like I said, it's kind of hunting for tomorrow and not just today.
Yeah, for sure.
So
a lot of uses out of those bad boys.
Absolutely. So if your guys are interested in a binocular for all cases, the UHDs can definitely fit the bill. Again, $1649, you know, all the way up to the 2000 mark. And so it kind of got a little bit for everything, but great values, great warranties, lots of bells and whistles in each box.
Yeah, top of the line from Vortex, and kind of how you mentioned earlier, like when you look through these, and you're like, damn, these are a lot better than some of the other Vortex
Yeah, I
optics.
mean, they're just...
This is the top of the line that they have at Vortex.
It's just always pushing that ceiling up
Right.
and just trying to figure out how to do something better, you know, and more efficient, and give it to you at a price that's affordable.
Yeah, and then for people like me who are rough on their gear and maybe not as clean as Cody is for his optics, lifetime warranty from Vortex. I mean, tough to beat that.
Yeah.
Tough to beat it.
Yeah, the VIP warranty, it's really quite simple. If something happens, you know, send it to them, and they either repair or replace it. It's just that simple.
And these are all available in the GOHUNT gear shop.
Yep, everything's in stock.
Check it out. Get on our website. Get some new optics for this upcoming hunting season.
Comment below if you have questions.
Comment below if you have questions. Cody will get back to you.
At GOHUNT, or optics@gohunt.com.
Yeah, if you have any other questions, email him, call him. Cody's the guy to talk to. Also, subscribe to YouTube. We're almost to 100K. We need to hit it bad.
And Nebdog, I'm really happy we got to be on camera together today.
I'm sure we'll have some more.
Yeah, no, I think we'll
some
do
more
some
optics
more.
videos
100%.
coming.